Could Kobe and Shaq's Lakers smash these Warriors, Stephen A?
No, I don't think so. As crazy as that sounds, I have no doubt what Kobe could do. And we all know that Shaq would own anybody. Here's the problem. These are marksmen extraordinaire. These are long-range snipers. Shaquille O'Neal is a career 52.7% shooter from the free throw line. 8 times in his career, he shot less than 50%. We are talking about a league where you literally get called for a foul if you pass gas. That's how pathetic it's been in the National Basketball Association. That is how soft it has become. So if Shaq and them are talking about their era and the Golden State Warriors playing in their era where you could get away with the kind of things Shaq is talking about, that would be one thing. But looking at this present crop of Golden State Warriors, the fact that they don't necessarily have to contend with you in the post because they're shooting long-range bombs, the fact that the Rick Fox, the Ron Harpers of the world, the Derek Fishers of the world, and others, is not just about Kobe and Shaq, but it's those supplementary parts that you're playing with, and these guys can defend the perimeter the way that they can defend. Today's NBA game wouldn't allow them to get beat up. You'd have to play a different style of basketball in order to beat them. And in the case of the Golden State Warriors, what you would do is you would foul Shaq all day long, send him to the free throw line. I'm not saying that the Lakers couldn't win because there's Kobe. And Kobe would sit up there and being the assassin, a black mamba that he is, could make things very interesting. But when you talk about the Lakers smashing them, we got to take all components into consideration. And I think that when you look at Shaq and the liability the great Shaquille O'Neal would have been at the free throw line, I think that changes things.
Great teams don't get smashed. And the Golden State Warriors, if Kevin Durant is at 100%, look like a great team. That said, who wins the series, Stephen A?
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
What's
no
your
one
gut,
knows.
though? Which way are you
what's your
leaning?
opinion?
I lean towards the Warriors.
Really?
Okay.
I lean towards the Warriors.
And they're not going to smash them. We agree about that. No one's smashing anyone in a series like this. But actually, I lean towards the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers win that series. And last year, I got criticized because I said, no, the Warriors would beat the best version of the Lakers when they were a 73-win team that looked like they couldn't miss. But then they lost in the finals. And then this year, yes, they added Durant. It's a tremendous add, but they lost Bogut. So they are susceptible to teams that can post. You know, you got a guy who can post down low. And this ain't Zach Randolph who's going to give him some trouble. This is Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant low-post force. I'm not talking about the most moves in the post like Olajuwon. I'm saying the most dominant, immovable low-post force of the modern era in the NBA. That guy's going to give him all kinds of problems. And how about this? Who is the best player on either team? Stephen A?
What is the best player?
Yeah, on either team. This Warriors team, that Lakers team. Who's the best player?
I'm going to tell you Kobe. I'm going to tell you Kobe.
And who's the second best player?
I'm going to tell you Kobe. Well, listen.
The answer is Shaq and Kobe. They got the two best players in the series.
Time out. I don't look at it that way. I really, really don't. Shaq is the most dominant force I've seen in my lifetime because I wasn't watching basketball to that level when Wilt Chamberlain was playing. But what I'm saying to you is that you got to take into account zone principles that have been implemented, the way today's game is played.
Well, why are you playing it nowadays? You can't play it then?
What I'm saying to you is that this is the same Max Kellerman that opened his mouth on several occasions over the last 2 months and talked about the changes that have taken place in the game and how it's rendered big men liabilities. So what I'm saying to you is that if you look at an Anthony Davis, if you look at a DeMarcus Cousins, to a lesser degree the Chris Boshes of the world and others when Chris Bosh was healthy, if you look at the way the game has changed, the fact is that the big dominant center is not that
Shaq
big
would
and
do
dominant
damage.
anymore.
Shaq would do damage in any era.
Not in the clutch. Not in the clutch.
But that sounds like what Mark Cuban said before they played Detroit, right? Like, well, Ben Wallace is never going to be able to win a championship. Detroit will never win a championship because Ben Wallace can't hit free throws. And then Detroit went out and won a championship. Shaq won 3 chips. With the Lakers won 3. One with Miami. He never could hit free throws.
That's a very bad moment for you to bring that up because as somebody that covered Larry Brown for 7 years, all 6 years in Philadelphia.
Well, that was Carlisle when they won the chip.
No, that was not Carlisle when they won the chip. That was Larry Brown was the coach of the Detroit Pistons.
No, and then they got rid of Larry Brown. They brought in Carlisle and they won the chip with Carlisle.
Carlisle and Dallas won the chip. Larry Brown won it in Detroit.
And Detroit.
No. Trust me on this. Larry Brown was the head coach for the Detroit Pistons when they won a championship. There is no fact check. I was there. I covered it. I'm telling you, I know. Larry Brown was the coach of the Detroit Pistons.
They had that reversed. It was Rick Carlisle and then Larry Brown.
Rick Carlisle only has one chip, and that's in Dallas.
That's right.
Larry Brown has a chip in
you were
Detroit.
wrong. This is a special moment.
It was Rick Carlisle until halfway through the season, and then they brought in Rasheed Wallace. He's right.
Actually, Rick Carlisle was fired at the end of the season. Larry Brown was there the full season because he left the Philadelphia 76ers job. I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah.
Here's the point that I'm trying to make is this. You got Ben Wallace.
Got me on one. I've been on the show for 7 months. You finally got me on.
Fine. You got Tayshaun Prince. You got Ben Wallace. You got Rasheed Wallace. Even though Ben was a liability, unlike Shaquille O'Neal, Ben Wallace wasn't an offensive component. He was a guy. He wasn't going to get the ball.
Just foul him?
They're not. Yes.
Yeah, but
in crunch time, yes.
Yes. But crunch
that's exactly what they're going to do.
Even if you foul him at crunch time and he hits 1 out of 2, that's still a point. You're not going to stop him from scoring.
But you're the same.
As opposed to the Warriors who couldn't score in the last 4.5 minutes against Cleveland.
Don't interrupt me while I'm trying to address your point. Your point was 3 couldn't beat 2. This is what you would say about 3-point marksmen going up against dude that scored 2 points. But now you're saying 1 out of 2 free throws